everyone, welcome back to Faith and Flour. This is Robin, and this video is about my week of homemaking, and I am literally in the midst of making a home. We have recently moved and I'm unpacking and trying to make everything fit into our new space, make it homey and welcoming and all of that. But even if that is not your situation, I hope that you will enjoy today's video. So in addition to unpacking and setting up a few rooms, I'm also in our kitchen, which is our temporary space in our Airstream while our kitchen is being renovated, and we're getting closer and closer to having that complete. So right now I'm in the guest room, but I do have a lot of things in store for you today, including a grocery haul from Aldi, my first grocery haul from Aldi, plus two very simple, very easy, and delicious recipes that I know your family is going to love as much as mine did. So if you enjoy videos like that, then this is for you. Make sure to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already done so, don't leave without subscribing. We have the most amazing group of subscribers here at Faith and Flour, as you'll see if you read the comments below. And if you want to make sure that you never miss a new video when it comes out, activate your bell icon and that will turn on your notifications. A few of you had asked what I was planning on doing with all of the packing materials. I am collecting all of them, and I plan to either sell them or give them to somebody who could use them. I definitely want to recycle everything, so as I pull out all the packing paper, I smooth it out as much as I can and fold it up neatly so that as soon as I'm finished unloading everything, those packing materials can go on to the next person. We can't wait for some of our family to come stay with us in our new home. We're hoping that Kyle and Lauren will be able to come soon, and my parents as well. So I want to get the guest room all ready for them. I'm washing all of the bedding and then making sure that the lamps have nice bright bulbs. My parents especially really love to read before they go to bed at night, so I want to make sure that they have some good lighting for that. And I've installed a lot of these LED lights around our home. I really like the daylight ones. To me, they emit a more natural light, but I know that different people have different preferences. But what I will suggest is, no matter what you prefer, if you like the soft white that gives off a more yellow, kind of warm color, then you make sure that all the bulbs in your home are that same temperature. It makes a huge difference. Otherwise, you really notice it when you walk in from room to room, or especially if different fixtures have different temperatures in the same room. It can look a little strange and call attention to those light sources in a way that you don't really want. We have been working on replacing bulbs and getting them switched out to the same temperature all week, and I will say that using the daylight bulbs really makes a difference in the quality of the filming that I do. So that helps me get the brightest, truest colors and really makes everything pop. After all the bedding spent over a week inside of a cardboard box, I felt like it needed to be washed again. So I washed everything, including the mattress cover, to make sure that things were nice and fresh for whoever comes to stay here. guys are always telling me how great Aldi's is, especially for their produce and their prices. So now that we live close to one, I have my first Aldi's haul to share with you guys today. Actually, in full disclosure, I have been by the store a few times and picked up things here and there, but now that we are actually living in this area, I picked up more and went back for some of the things that we enjoyed on our first go round. So I'm going to start with the cold items so I can get these things put away. We got whole milk. This is the ultra pasteurized organic whole milk, and also almond milk, also organic. And I'm going to put the prices below so those of you that are interested can see that. Their produce did look really good. I haven't tried any of it yet, so I'm not 100% sure, but the strawberries looked really nice. They were a good price, and the blueberries. I also picked up a package of snap peas. I got some hummus. I'll show you that in a minute. That's a really good snack. We really enjoy that, and I would have got more, but I'm not sure how great they are, so I didn't want to, stock up too much. I also got one of these sunflower chopped salad kits. This we have tried in the Dole brand, and I heard that the Aldi one was really good, so we're going to give that one a try. And they have some gluten-free items that are really good. They don't have a huge selection, but what they do have is pretty good. And when we went the last time, we got some of this General Tso's chicken, and it was really good. Peyton loved it. So we got that, and I think I might even make this for dinner tonight. Just serve it over a little rice and maybe have a salad on the side. I also picked up these chicken breast bites. We haven't tried those before, but since the General Tso's was good, thought we'd give that a try. I got some sharp cheddar cheese that's already grated, and this salad dressing sounded really good. It's apple thyme vinaigrette. Vinaigrette featuring cold pressed apple juice, thyme, and honey. So that just sounded too good to pass up. So I grabbed that. And I also got 2 packets of this fondue. This is actually imported from Switzerland and was one of the best prices I've ever seen for fondue. We might not have it right away, but I don't know if you can see that. I'm not sure if it's focusing on it. But the sell-by date is for September 24th, so I can either freeze that or just keep it in the refrigerator until we are ready to have it. And I got some Black Forest ham. $2.99 was a pretty good price for 8 ounces. Peyton loves that in a sandwich or in a wrap. And I also got this roasted pine nut hummus. And so you'll notice that I got probably more convenience items than I would normally, but since we are in our Airstream, that's where I'm actually filming right now, for our meals still, this is really nice to have. So things like shredded cheese instead of shredding my own, and some of these things like the General Tso's chicken and the chopped salad kit will really help us out until we get into the kitchen. And that's just a couple more weeks away when we get the countertop. So hopefully my next grocery haul will be in there. So I'm going to clear this stuff away and then get out the other items to show you. These are the other items we picked up. I love this LaCroix sparkling water in the limoncello. It is my favorite. And although I don't think this was necessarily less expensive than when I can find it at the grocery store, it was there. So it was convenient and I picked that up. Peyton was along with me, so whenever he's with me, he asks for different snacks, and he loves popcorn. So he got this sea salt popcorn. Of course, that's naturally gluten-free, so he can have that. And he found these fried pork rinds. Something that I never would have chosen, but he loves stuff like that, so I indulged him today. And then I found some breads there that looked really good. So we have been loving sourdough bread. I've been getting it from our other local grocery store, which is H-E-B here in Texas, and it's been really good. And this one's from a local bakery, I think. I'm not sure if it's local. But anyway, it says it uses 3 main ingredients, just flour, water, and salt. So it's a true sourdough bread, and I'm anxious to try that. It looks really good. And then from the same company, they have this sliced brioche loaf with chocolate chips. So I, had to get that when I saw it, and we'll probably warm that up for breakfast. Of course, these 2 things are not gluten-free, so I have some things in the freezer that Peyton can have when we do have that. I also got Pink Lady apples. They were a really good price compared to what I can get in our local grocery store. I also found these for Peyton, another one of their gluten-free finds that are really good. We did try these the last time we went. Peyton really liked them, and so we can use these to make wraps for him for lunch. They also have this gluten-free granola, and granola is his favorite cereal. So this one is cranberry and cashew, so I know he's going to enjoy that. It's also sweetened with honey. It's got really good ingredients in it. I also picked up some of their dried cherries. I like these along with the pepitas in a spinach salad or even just a romaine salad. So good. And that dressing that I picked up I think will be perfect for that. I still have lettuce from the other grocery store that we'll finish up, but they also have really good produce prices at Aldi, so I might get my lettuce there next time. And then I also got these dried mangoes. Peyton, again, loves those, so they'll be great to go along with lunches. And I also discovered that they have freezer gallon bags. And I want to say these were like $1.99 for 30. And they're like the twin lock type that are BPA free. I know if you get the Ziploc or what is it, Hefty brand that are really popular, it's quite a bit more. So if these are as good as it sounds, then that's a really good deal. And so I think you guys are right. The jury's out on, trying some of these things that we've never tried. But as far as the prices go, I was really pleased. And I have to say the selection's not bad either. So if you have an Aldi and you shop there regularly, let me know down in the comments the things that you like to get from there, because I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to go there more regularly. I can show you guys some of the hauls. And where we live now, we also have a Walmart, which we didn't have before. So I will be bringing you more grocery hauls if you guys like that content. And if you do, make sure to give me a thumbs up. I made the gluten-free General Tso's chicken for dinner, and it was absolutely delicious and so easy. Every time my iron appears in a video, I get tons of questions about it, and so when I ironed last week, you guys wanted to know more. So my iron is actually an iron combination steamer, and I always use distilled water to fill the little container, and it's very easy to use. You just plug it in and you can use it as a regular iron or as a steamer. And this week I needed to steam some of my silk tops, and I definitely prefer to do it this way as opposed to ironing them. I think it's a lot more gentle on the silk fabric, but this works great as both, and it's very tiny. So you do have to refill the reservoir every so often, especially when you're steaming like this, but it's small enough to take along with you when you travel, so I like that. And it has completely replaced my regular iron, and I don't have a separate steamer. I have received so much positive feedback about this iron over the last couple of years from those of you who have bought one and love it too. The exact model that I have is no longer available, but there is a similar one that I put in my Amazon store. So if you guys are looking for something like this, you can find the link to my Amazon store down in the description box. Cooking and baking have been a challenge while our kitchen is under renovation, and we've been using our little Airstream kitchen for the last several months. But I have a collection of recipes that are really easy, like these almond flour cookies. So these have really 3 basic ingredients. You'll need some almond flour, some sugar, and some baking powder. A little bit of salt also, and if you like, you can add some mini chocolate chips. I like doing that, but you can put whatever add-ins you like. Nuts or dried fruit, whatever you like will work great in this simple cookie. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and then line a baking sheet with parchment paper or a silpat mat. In a medium bowl, whisk together 1 cup of blanched almond flour, 3 tablespoons of coconut sugar, a half a teaspoon of baking powder, and about an 1/8 teaspoon of fine sea salt. I use some pink Himalayan salt because that's what I had on hand. And then you add 2 tablespoons of water. At first, the mixture might seem very dry and you'll be tempted to add a little bit more water, but just keep working with it and it will come together. And then I like to put in your add-in. So here I'm putting in probably about a 1/4 cup, I'd say, of mini chocolate chips and then just mixing everything really well. I actually put the chips in before I got everything to really come together, but it will form a dough. And if it's still really dry after several minutes of mixing, you can add a tiny bit of water, but you definitely don't want to overdo that. I usually use a small cookie scoop to measure them out, but mine's still packed away. So I'm just using sort of I think this is a tablespoon, and I'm scooping out a little bit and forming it into a ball. And I just try to make sure that each cookie is fairly uniform in size. I roll them into little balls, and then before I put them in the oven, I flatten them out a bit because they won't spread. They will pretty much keep the shape that you form them into. Bake them in a preheated oven for 13 to 16 minutes. They don't necessarily turn all that brown, but you can burn them on the bottom, so make sure that you don't overdo it. And then remove them from the oven and let them cool for about 10 minutes on the baking sheet before you transfer them to a cooling rack. I will put a link to the full recipe down in the description box below. These are easy cookies to make. They are 100% gluten-free, so if you have a friend who eats gluten-free or a family member, this is something that is so easy to make. I promise your friends and family will love these, whether they need to eat gluten-free or not. They are slightly crispy on the outside and chewy on the inside, like a macaroon, and they are the perfect accompaniment to afternoon tea. lots of evenings I have been looking for one-pot meals that I can make very easily in our Airstream, and I stumbled upon one recently that was a huge hit, so I wanted to share it with you guys. I will have the recipe linked down in the description box below. The original recipe I modified a little bit to make it even easier, so if you want, you can go along with the original instructions. I'm sure that's amazing, or you can take a few shortcuts from me and try it the way we had it. It was delicious. I combined a pound of ground beef along with 1 onion that I chopped and browned the meat and sauteed the onion all together. I find that you can do that quite often and save yourself a step. So after that was ready, I added a few very simple ingredients. Just 2 cups of some bone broth that I had on hand. You could use chicken stock, or you could also use beef broth, which is what was called for in the original recipe. And then I used a cup of pasta sauce. This tomato basil sauce has all of the spices in it that were called for in the recipe, so it just allowed me to really simplify things. Once these ingredients have come to a boil, you can add your pasta directly in. So the original recipe calls for 2 cups of pasta, but I was able to add 3 because the first time I made it, I realized there was probably room for a little bit more, and I am using a gluten-free penne pasta, and this turned out just perfect. Our favorite brand of gluten-free pasta is this one from Barilla. They also make elbow pastas, which would be great in this recipe too, and I think that's what she called for in the original recipe. The original recipe calls for regular pasta, so you can use that as well. Just make sure that you follow the timing that's specified on the pasta package to make sure the consistency comes out right. At this point, you can add the remaining ingredients. So I put in 8 ounces of heavy cream. I really like this shelf-stable one from Trader Joe's. That is about double what the recipe calls for, but I honestly didn't want to have any leftover, so I went ahead and put it all in. Next, stir in 2 cups of grated cheddar cheese. And I normally like to shred my own, but for convenience sake, I bought it in the package today. It turned out great. It melted very smoothly, and this pasta is absolutely to die for. It is very rich and creamy. This recipe was exactly what I was looking for. It couldn't have been easier. I had it on the table in no time, and my family absolutely loved it, so I know yours will too. My goal is always to give you guys some homemaking inspiration and a little motivation for your week ahead. So if you enjoyed today's video, let me know by giving me a thumbs up. And you know I love to hear from you, so leave me a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, have a wonderful week.